Today, we're dissecting a script from the channel Quantum Nexus. It's titled 1 Minute Left, Higher Beings Decided You'll Look Younger. And it's a channeled message about reversing aging.
Okay, so let's get right into it. We have to start with the hook.
Yeah.
For me, it creates a very specific kind of urgency that actively undermines the script's entire philosophical argument about time.
Right. The opening line is, "The clock is ticking. 60 seconds remain before this opportunity seals itself shut."
But then later, much later, in the seventh movement, the script is all about temporal fluidity, transcending linear time.
So it's a complete contradiction.
To be fair to the writer, though, this is YouTube. I mean, the algorithm punishes you if you don't grab attention in like the first 5 seconds. Isn't this just standard practice?
It is standard, and that's exactly the problem. It's the wrong tool for this specific job.
How so?
Well, the script is trying to get the listener into a state of release, of crystalline, high-frequency expansion. Physiologically, that means you need to be in a parasympathetic state.
Rest and digest.
Exactly. But a hook like that, the opportunity seals itself shut, that spikes your cortisol. It triggers the sympathetic response.
Fight or flight.
So you're basically reinforcing the very fear-driven programming that the rest of the script is telling you to release.
It creates immediate cognitive dissonance. It's like a yoga instructor screaming, "Hurry up and relax, you've got 10 seconds.
You can't. It's impossible. And the audience for this, they're probably already familiar with concepts like the eternal now.
Right. They know deep down that higher dimensional beings probably aren't operating on a 60-second stopwatch.
So if we strip out that 1-minute gimmick, we risk losing the click. How do we keep the stakes high without the cortisol spike?
I think you have to shift the focus from temporal scarcity to what I'd call energetic rarity.
Okay, I like that. So it's not that you're running out of time?
No, it's that this is a unique, high-value opportunity. The urgency comes from the magnitude of the event, not a literal ticking clock.
So instead of hurry up, it's more like pay attention because this really matters.
Exactly.
Let's workshop a rewrite. The current version is, "The clock is ticking, 60 seconds remain. By the time you finish watching, you'll know exactly how to lock in this rejuvenation."
Reads like an infomercial for a kitchen gadget.
Yeah. So an alternative might be something like, "A rare cosmic alignment is currently peaking, opening a window for cellular reconfiguration that has been closed for centuries. This is the moment your starseed consciousness has been waiting for."
That has weight to it. It still feels urgent. It tells me the window is open now, so I should stick around, but it doesn't make me feel timed.
But let's play devil's advocate here. What if the channel owner, Quantum Nexus, insists on the 1-minute thing because their data shows it works? Can we salvage the concept?
You could, but you'd have to reframe it immediately. You'd acknowledge the hook, but then flip it on its head.
What do you mean?
Something like, "The world tells you to rush, but the Arcturians invite you to pause. The next 60 seconds are a portal, not a deadline."
Oh, that's good. That works. Because it validates the title for the algorithm, but it immediately corrects the listener's mindset.
Right, it tells them you're safe here, instead of you're about to miss out.
It bridges that gap between the marketing brain and the spiritual brain.
Speaking of bridging gaps, we need to talk about the imagery in the rest of the script. I found myself getting mentally exhausted trying to keep up with all the metaphors.
Oh, yeah. The text suffers from what I'd call metaphor congestion.
That's the perfect term for it. It's switching so fast between technological, biological, and architectural imagery.
It's intense. I was tracking it. In the first few minutes, the body is a crystalline information system.
Then a holy technology.
Then suddenly it's a symphony played through damaged equipment.
And don't forget the eagle hatched in a henhouse.
Right. And then an architectural plan, it's a mix of sci-fi, music class, farming, and construction work.
And all that does is create cognitive load. Every time you switch metaphors, the listener's brain has to dump the old mental model and load a new one.
So you go from, okay, I'm a computer, to, wait, no, I'm a violin. Now hold on, I'm a chicken.
And it stops the audience from diving deep. You're just skimming the surface of 5 different images instead of really sinking into one powerful one.
I think it comes from a good place, a desire to be poetic, maybe, or a fear that one metaphor won't land, so you just throw everything at the wall.
But in a script like this, a guided visualization, clarity is power. The computer programming language, downloads, glitch, override, that clashes tonally with the nature language.
The hen house, the river.
Yeah.
You have to pick a lane. You need what we'd call a root metaphor to govern the whole piece.
Okay, so let's say we pick one. Given the channel name Quantum Nexus, let's go with the body as hardware-software.
That fits the brand.
Right. So if we commit to that, we stick to terms like code, blueprint, download, override, malfunction, standby mode.
And how would that change that section about the body's decline?
Well, currently the script jumps from genes you activate to broadcast a perfect symphony to blueprint erosion.
All over the place.
If we unified it under that tech approach, it could become something like your body is a bioorganic vessel currently running an obsolete operating system. Aging is simply a software bug, a memory leak caused by collective virus.
We are here to help you run the system restored to your factory settings.
See, that is so cohesive. I can visualize system restore. I know what that feels like on a computer.
Now, what if the audience was more earth-based, more shamanic? You could go with the architecture lane instead.
So we drop the viruses and the bug.
And it becomes, your body is a sacred temple that has suffered weathering from the harsh climate of Earth's beliefs. The original blueprints are still in the vault. We are not building something new. We are engaging in a historic restoration project.
Weathering versus virus. Temple versus operating system.
Both are strong.
But mixing them just dilutes the power of both. It's about meeting the listener where they are.
Exactly. Once we have that metaphor sorted, we have to look at the structure. The flow of this piece just buries the actionable gold, the 7 movements, way too deep in the script.
This is the classic buried lead problem. I mean, the 7 movements, that's the solution. That's why the listener clicked.
But the writer spends, I don't know, the first 6 or 7 minutes just looping through the why?
All this preamble about collective agreements and history.
Why do writers do that? Is it insecurity? Do they feel like they have to prove the why before anyone will believe the how?
I think so, often. They think, if I don't explain the entire philosophy of the Galactic Federation first, they won't do the exercise.
But the listener is already there. They clicked the video. They're sold on the premise. They want the goods.
It feels like going to a restaurant and the waiter just keeps bringing you appetizers you didn't order.
Yeah, and they won't show you the menu. You don't know if you should fill up on bread or save room for the steak.
And in this script, the steak is the 7 movements.
Recognition, clearing interference, light body architecture, it's a whole list.
It's a dense menu, and if I don't know that list is coming, I might check out halfway through because I don't know there's more.
So the solution is a table of contents moment, right up top.
Hand the listener the menu.
How would that look in practice?
Right after the hook, before getting lost in all the philosophy, you just insert something simple.
Like?
In this transmission, we will guide you through the 7 sacred movements of cellular regression. We will move from recognition all the way to temporal fluidity. Stick with us as the sequence must be followed in order.
It's a roadmap. It builds anticipation. Now I'm thinking, ooh, temporal fluidity sounds advanced. I better stay tuned for number 7.
Exactly. It changes the listener's psychology from, how long is this going to take, to, okay, I'm on step 3 of 7. It gives them a sense of progress.
You can even use that signposting to tie back to the root metaphor we just talked about.
Right. So when you introduce movement 2, clearing interference, you don't just say it.
You link it. You say, remember the software bugs we talked about? Movement 2 is how you run the antivirus.
Yes. It turns the script into a narrative journey, not just a list of bullet points.
Okay, but this brings us to what I think is the most critical part of this whole thing. We have the 7 movements, but when I actually read the instructions for them, I felt nothing.
They are incredibly abstract. Recognize your potential. Permit yourself to align. Consciously link to the grid.
I don't know what to do. The listener wants concrete, specific, actionable suggestions. What do I do with my physical body? The script is relying entirely on mental intention.
And that's the difference between reading a manual on how to drive and actually sitting in the car. Mental intention is great, but we're talking about DNA activation, cellular regeneration.
It's a somatic process. It has to happen in the body.
So we need to add what I'd call a somatic anchor to each move. Give the physical body a job to do while the consciousness does its work.
Soma, meaning body. So a somatic anchor is a physical action, a breath, a posture, a hand movement.
A gaze. Anything that anchors an abstract idea into the nervous system. It bridges that gap between the high-frequency concept and our 3D reality.
Okay, let's workshop this. Let's take movement 2, clearing interference. The current instruction is just a conscious intention to clear.
Which feels like thinking really hard. I'm clearing. I hope I'm clearing.
So how do we anchor that?
You could add something like visualize a dial in the center of your chest. Now, as you exhale, physically turn your palms outward to push the static away from you.
Ooh, even just hearing you say that, I can feel the difference. Turning the palms is an act of rejection. It's primal. It signals to the nervous system, get this away from me.
Right, let's try a harder one. Movement 7, temporal fluidity. The script just says, learn to exist in temporal fluidity.
Which is like saying, just be timeless.
It's a huge ask for a human brain. So what's the anchor?
What if we said, when you look at a clock, practice softening your gaze. Imagine the hands are merely decorations, not directives. Now take a breath that lasts for what feels like a minute.
I'm trying that right now, just looking at the clock in the studio, softening my gaze. It literally blurs the time.
It forces a physiological shift. When you soften your gaze, you engage your peripheral vision, which signals safety to the brain. You are physically hacking your body into a state of timelessness.
Which is so much more powerful than just thinking time isn't real.
And you know what's interesting? The script actually does this, but only once. Right at the very end, the conclusion asks the user to place both hands on your heart center.
It's the only specific physical instruction in the whole text.
And it's probably the only part that really lands for the listener. The strategy here should be to pull that kind of specific instruction up into all the earlier movements.
So every single movement has a hand position or a breathing pattern or a specific way to use your eyes.
Yes, it turns the video from a passive lecture into an active workshop.
And it solves the engagement problem, too. It's hard to click away to another tab when you're busy turning your palms and softening your gaze. You're physically committed.
And it all connects back to our first point. If the body is tense from that clock is ticking intro,
You can't soften your gaze.
Transmission from start to finish.
Right, if the intro says run and the conclusion says relax, the body is just...
Confused.
So if we fix all this, if we fix the hook to be about that energetic rarity,
And give them the table of contents so the mind knows where it's going.
and use a single root metaphor so the imagination isn't working overtime,
And finally, give them those somatic anchors so the body can actually integrate the information.
that flow takes the listener from a state of chaotic anxiety to focused, embodied action.
It's a complete overhaul of the user experience, but you're not actually changing the core message from the Arcturians. You're not changing the what, you're just optimizing the how. You're tuning the instrument.
I mean, even for something like Movement 6, grounding mission energy, the text is so flowed. Feel your mission descend.
grounding needs to be heavy. A somatic anchor for that could be press your feet firmly into the floor. Imagine roots growing from your heels. Tense the muscles in your calves for 3 seconds, then release.
The tension and release. That's great. It makes the descent of the energy feel real because the legs are physically engaged.
This is the missing link in so much of this kind of content. It all just stays up in the ether.
And because it stays in the ether, people just consume it like candy. They watch 10 videos and nothing changes.
By forcing physical engagement, you slow the consumption down, but you massively increase the impact, which is, probably what the Galactic Federation would actually want.
Actual transformation, not just views.
Precisely. So to the writer at Quantum Nexus, you've got amazing raw material here. The concepts are strong, the intention is clear, but the execution is currently fighting against itself.
It's like you have a Ferrari engine in a car with square wheels. Smooth out the metaphors, fix the suspension with some somatic anchors, and this thing will fly.
So we invite you to make these edits. Strip out that false urgency, unify your imagery, and please give the listener's body a job to do in every movement.
And send it back to us. We'd love to see the system restore in action.
Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep refining the signal.